The time has come. The Resistance gathers together as Knuckles gives them a rallying speech. He tells them that this is it. The final battle for taking back the world. And that they should get a message from Shadow very soon. All of them are very hopeful that they'll be able to do this. Take on Eggman. Take back the world. And Sonic states that they can do it. Because they have each other. And that's all that matters. Silver then mentions how he's seen the future and he hopes that they can change this. They can fix what happens in the future. And then Shadow appears on the video. Shadow mentions on how he's found the last known locations of the Chaos Emeralds, the last 3. Eggman has them. And he's moved all of his forces to Imperial Tower, including the Egg Generals, which is insane. As the group begin to talk about their plans, Knuckles decides to get the army all ready and ready for battle. Shadow also warns them that something dangerous is there, but Eggman's not revealed it just yet. He's keeping this very secret. Sonic says whatever it is, they can face it. They'll be able to win against Dr. Eggman and take back the world. Because there's nothing that they can accomplish. That they will win. Sonic says that even if he goes out trying, he will save the day. And everyone cheers on, as they all know that they'll be able to save the world. And bring order and peace back to the world. And stop Eggman's rule over everyone. Shadow then states, "I hope you're right," before saying that he has to go. But before he turns off, he notices Infinite, and Infinite is watching him the whole time. Shadow turns it off as Rouge panics that Shadow's now in danger. But not only Infinite discovered that Shadow is now the mole in Eggman's Empire, but he decides that it's time that he has some fun with him. He's always wanted to fight Shadow again, so it's the perfect opportunity. He then uses the Phantom Ruby and teleports Shadow elsewhere. Meanwhile, back at the Resistance HQ, the group begins to prepare for the battle, as they all get into the ship and blast off to Imperial Tower, with all of the other armies coming with them. It's a glorious fight for what's gonna happen. Meanwhile with Shadow, he gets teleported back to Mystic Jungle. And here it would be another Infinite boss fight, but with Shadow this time instead of Sonic. And this will be kind of Shadow mocking, Infinite mocking Shadow, stating that he offered him something that he would forever enjoy, and yet this is how he thanks him? Working for the Resistance? All that work, all that build-up, just for nothing? And then, Shadow would manage to get a couple of good hits on Infinite, as Infinite would smack him back, and after a couple of hits, Infinite would change up his direction and would use many different attacks. He would create whips of Phantom Ruby cubes, homing Phantom Ruby cubes, and even, complete lasers as well. And, dare I even say it, he even alters the reality around it, crushing everything in sight, just to try and attack Shadow. However, Shadow uses his Chaos Control to freeze time, just as Infinite's about to, attack. However, he falls into one of the Phantom Ruby bits and everything alters. But Shadow uses a boost pad and gets the final hit on Infinite, sending him flying into a wall. Infinite's outraged at this, but he quickly manages to recover and grab Shadow. Back at Imperial Tower, Eggman is shocked and annoyed that not only Orbot and Cubot have asked him to come here, but the fact that he's hiding out in Imperial Tower, and that he's too busy to dealing with their shenanigans. He's busy building his final Doomsday weapon, titled Project Doomsday. However, they mention that they have found the reason why the resistance has been getting stronger, and Eggman simply replies, "Humour me." Orbot tells him that there is a mole in the organisation. Eggman does suspect foul play here, as he expects the only two people who could betray him are Zavok and Chaos, because of past events. Metal Sonic maybe perhaps could, but Eggman has put a leash on him to make sure that he doesn't betray him ever again. He doesn't want another Heroes incident. However, Infinite comes flying through the door, showing Shadow. Zavok and Chaos look on, just with glaring eyes. Chaos is just standing there. And Zavok claims that he is not the one to be responsible for this. He's serving Eggman after all, sucking up to Eggman. And Infinite shows Shadow. And Eggman is shocked, saying that Shadow betrayed the Eggman Empire. After all these years, and that not only was Eggman responsible for, saving Shadow at the very end, he awakened him. And following that, they teamed up together multiple times. Shadow calls Eggman insane to thinking that he's actually going to go forward with this plan. Now, what is he really planning anyway? But Eggman tells him that what he's planning is top secret, and that he'll have to wait and see on Judgment Day. So mark it in your calendar. That is, if you still have one. As Infinite goes to deal with Shadow, Eggman begins to suspect more and more fear. So he holds onto one of the emeralds, keeping it close to his surprise. He puts one of the emeralds in the reactor core of Imperial Tower to keep it safe, and another one to be hidden somewhere else, in a personal project of his. And Orbot answers if this personal project could possibly be, stronger than his last one. And Eggman replies stating that it may have been. The Egg-Ducer was one of the most powerful mechs he created, but it was a prototype of technology. Zavok, overhearing this, begins to think what Eggman could be doing with the Phantom Ruby prototypes, and suspects that something is up. But he's not worried about that, as he wants power, and will stop at anything to get it. As he and Infinite give a simple look towards one another, getting ready for their plan in motion. The betrayal begins very, very soon. And here we have the battle bit. So the battle would begin with, of course, Team Sonic coming in, racing with everyone else by their side, clashing. Infinite makes copies of all the other villains by the request of Eggman to attack, with Infinite holding down the fortress and Zavok being on one of the top areas keeping a lookout along with Chaos. We would see Sonic, Shadow, Silver, Amy, all of the Hedgehogs just destroying everything, destroying all the illusions, crushing everything. Tails using his gadgets, Omega firing, Rouge throwing bombs, Team Chaotix just destroying anything that stands in their way. And of course, Knuckles punching the ground constantly. it's a spectacle for the eyes. We would see, of course, Sonic spin dash into chaos. Of course, he slits over Zavok. He then grabs the fake metal and throws it at Shadow, the fake Shadow I should mention. Charmy does a lot more damage. There's so much going on in this battle. And then, of course, we have obviously more of this battle goes on with more and more. As Sonic's friends hold off the groups of bad guys going on, they all approach Infinite. And Sonic races on ahead, ready to deal with it. He asks Infinite, long time no see, and did he miss him? And Infinite says, yes, he did, and that they've not been able to talk for a bit, but it won't affect it because they will all still lose, before letting out a big blast of energy. And then says, any last words? I don't care. However, he's stopped by some firing blaster with Omega, Tails, and the Rookie all there. Infinite is annoyed at seeing Omega again, considering that Omega was destroyed by Infinite, and Rouge is happy that Omega is back, woohoo! However, Infinite is annoyed, and he claims that everything's ready, Doctor. Eggman then tells Orbot and Cubot, who are on the computers manning the massive device on top of Imperial Tower, known as the Phantom Reactor, to power to set up the device. They agree, and a massive beam fires up. The top of the tower begins to transform, and it all charges upwards, turning from purple energy, until one blast sends up and boom, the sun appears. Everyone is shocked, scared, frightened, and just broken. Tails explains everything, but they seem that this is real. And Eggman then appears, saying the iconic line from Forces. I just kind of like that line, so I kept it in. Back with the Rookie, he begins to look over them, and Tails notices something in his hand, the Phantom Ruby prototype. He states that must have been the ones that Eggman must have created, the ones used to cancel out the effects if things went a little too rough. Eggman must have destroyed multiple of them, but there was only a couple still left. So, it's up to him now, the Rookie. And everything is up to him. Here we would get the Imperial Tower level. Now this level would mostly stay the same, as I actually really liked it. Maybe perhaps add some 3D elements instead of it just being 2D, as I would have loved to play this level in a 3D kind of style, because I think this would be an awesome idea. But yeah, you would basically fly up the tower, just demolishing badniks in the way, and in other words, I think that adding a time limit to it would actually make it more intense, more kind of, because you want to get up there, you want to get there really quickly, because if you don't, then the whole world and everyone on it will just be destroyed, except for Eggman. And I feel like that would build more and more reason for trying to take down Eggman once and for all. And we would see throughout this with the incredible vocal song that gets played, with the Rookie continuing to fight no matter what. And in the background we can actually see Infinite, as well as Zavok, Chaos, Metal, and Shadow, who appears to be really beaten up. And following that, the Rookie would continue to jump up, landing forward. However, Eggman's, POV announcement states that you even think you can stop this? You're just a rookie. However, everyone else's encouraging words helps the Rookie out, as they tell him not to listen to Eggman, and that to do this, you're a real soldier now, Rookie. And as everything builds up, you begin to climb the tower, closer now, with it looking very close. However, just when everything seems ultimately lost, the rookie jumps up, lands on top, and gets to the controls. Infinite claims that everything is all over and that it's time to give up. And Eggman laughs, counting down the seconds to their doom. However, with one massive blast, it looks like everything's over. But with one blast, the tower glitches out and the sun goes away. Eggman's furious and doesn't know what on earth just happened. Then the rookie lands down and the Phantom Ruby prototype breaks. Eggman is outraged because he thought that all of them were destroyed. And Tails says that line from the official forces game, as I really liked that one. Knuckles now gives the proper speech, telling them that this is the time they now strike. This is now time for battle. Eggman retreats into his lair and sends out the Badniks ready to attack. And Orbo and Cuba ask that they can fix the machine, but Eggman tells them no, they're doing things differently, and that he holds onto the Chaos Emeralds. He then deploys more Badniks and tells Zavok and Chaos to lead them out into battle. Now Zavok, having his own mind, decides on something very else. He agrees to tackle them, and he decides to head out to fight, along with Chaos, who goes with him. But here's the thing, Metal stays behind to guard the Judgment reactor, and Infinite, well, he stays inside the tower in case if Sonic comes. And as for Shadow, he sneaks off, considering Infinite's a little busy. And, well, sneaks off and dashes away. Infinite looks around at the battle going on, and Zavok appears next to him. He asks if his plan is going to be put into motion, and Infinite simply states that yes, the time for now is here. Zavok then states, so, what do you need exactly? Infinite then hands Zavok a Chaos Emerald, a distraction. And Zavok says, okay then. And Zavok puts the emerald on his chest, igniting the power within. And that grants him so much strength. He then leaps on out from Imperial Tower, landing in the battlefield. The Resistance are shocked when they see what's going on. Zavok is juiced up on the power of a Chaos Emerald. And, well, he's defeating the Resistance members like non-stop. However, Eggman then notices this on the Badnik security cameras and is furious and demands Zavok to stand down immediately and to give the emerald back. And that he didn't even give him an emerald. Who did? However, Zavok begins to grow massive, and the power is giving him all the strength he needs. And he begins to rip open parts of the ground. He begins chucking Badniks, controlling all of them, even E123 Omega, turning them on the backs of the heroes, including Team Dark and Rouge. And not only that, but more chaos coming. And he begins to walk over to try and crush Sonic once and for all. And the story ends, well, for this part, ends with Sonic and the rookie tackling Zavok.